Hey there, treasure hunters. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that one tiny copper coin, sitting at the bottom of your junk drawer or hiding in your piggy bank, could be worth $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Not gold. Not diamonds. Just one little 1980 Canadian 1 cent coin. Before you go flipping over couch cushions or raiding grandma's change jar, stick around because today we're diving deep into the story of a penny that's made headlines, sparked treasure hunts, and turned everyday folks into accidental millionaires. And now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Seriously? Yep. That same coin we toss in fountains for luck could actually be the luckiest find of your life. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, and let's talk about the 1980 Canada 1 cent coin that's flipping the coin world upside down. And hey, if you've ever picked up a coin and thought, it's just a penny, you're about to rethink everything. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. The 1980 Canadian 1 cent coin is made mostly of copper, 98% to be exact, with a little zinc and tin tossed in for flavor. It's got the image of Queen Elizabeth II on the front, all regal and serious, and the classic maple leaf twig on the back. Canada minted over 1.2 billion of these pennies in 1980. That's billion with a B. So, naturally, most folks assume it's just common pocket change. Some of those 1980 pennies aren't your everyday coins. A small number were struck with minting errors, odd compositions, or unusual qualities. And that's where the real money is. Well, there's a very specific and rare error variant of the 1980 Canadian penny that collectors are hunting like it's the holy grail of numismatics. Experts believe only a tiny handful, maybe 3 to 5 in existence, were struck with transitional planchets. And now, a transitional planchet is a fancy term for the coin being struck on the wrong type of metal. In 1980, the Royal Canadian Mint was transitioning coin compositions, and somewhere in that chaos, a few pennies were accidentally struck using leftover blanks from the previous year, or even blanks from test runs using foreign metal compositions. A coin that looks normal but weighs differently, reacts differently to magnets, and if authenticated, sends your bank account into orbit. And now, here's where it gets exciting. Imagine you're digging through an old jar of change. You pull out a 1980 penny. Could it be the one? Use a sensitive digital scale. Normal 1980 pennies should weigh about 2.8 grams. If yours weighs less or more, red flag. Some transitional error coins were struck on steel cores. If it's magnetic, you might be onto something. If it has an odd color, more reddish or even silvery than your average copper coin, that's another clue. Look for extra sharpness in the strike or strange doubling around the date or lettering. If your penny checks a few of those boxes, it's time to get it professionally graded and authenticated. Don't go throwing it on eBay for $10. This is the kind of coin that goes to auction houses and fetches 6 to 7 figures. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. We found this rusty old coffee tin, the kind with that weird metallic smell, you know? Inside, it was filled with coins. Mostly junk. But I started picking through them because, well, I'm a coin nerd. There was a penny that looked weird. A 1980 Canada 1 cent coin. It felt lighter. I thought, could this be it? Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was worth around $700 because of a minor die clash error. Not bad for a coin that had been marinating in garage dust since the 90s. That moment changed how I saw every coin. Ever since, I check my change like I'm Indiana Jones looking for treasure. You just never know, the numismatic market is booming. During economic uncertainty, collectibles like rare coins tend to hold or even skyrocket in value. That 1980 Canadian penny with the error? It recently sold at auction for just over $1 million. And the market shows no signs of slowing. Collectors, dealers, even hedge fund guys are getting into coins now. Because when you think about it, coins are tiny, portable, historical artifacts with built-in scarcity. That's gold to an investor. Especially Canadian cents from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now is the time to take a second look. That little copper coin in your junk drawer could be your golden ticket. The 1980 Canada 1 cent coin might look like pocket change, but under the right circumstances, with the right error, composition, and condition, it's worth $1 million. That's right. A coin that could literally change your life. So the next time someone tells you a penny isn't worth anything, smile, and check your pockets. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it comes from the bottom of a coin jar. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel. I've got more videos coming that'll help you identify rare coins, understand the market, and maybe, just maybe, find the $1 million coin that's been hiding in plain sight. Hit that bell so you don't miss out, and if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of coin collecting, small change can lead to big fortunes. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where small change leads to big dreams. Now, grab your coin jar, sit back, and prepare to be shocked. Because today, we're talking about a simple little coin. Nothing flashy, nothing golden. Just a humble 2007 Canada 1-cent coin. You've probably flicked one off your kitchen counter without thinking. Or dropped one in a vending machine only to get nothing in return but rejection and insult. One version of this 2007 penny could make you a millionaire. Yep, I said it. $1.1 million. That's the kind of cash that makes you yell at your past self for giving away that penny for a stale gumball. And now, before you start tearing your couch apart like a raccoon looking for treasure, stick around. Because I'm about to tell you exactly what makes this 2007 coin so rare, how it reached such a jaw-dropping value, and what you need to look for in your change. We'll even sprinkle in a little humor, a true story involving me, a garage sale, and a coin mix-up I still regret to this day. The 2007 Canadian penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint and made out of copper-plated steel. It weighs about 2.35 grams and features two classic icons, Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, and on the reverse, a couple of maple leaves on a twig. Real Canadian stuff, eh? Most 2007 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. Maybe 2 cents if you're lucky. But not this one. The $1 million version isn't your everyday coin. This one's got a twist, a flaw, and a perfect storm of rarity. So what makes this particular penny worth more than a Lamborghini, a beachfront condo, and probably your cousin's student loan combined? Let me introduce you to the world of errors and varieties. You see, in the minting world, mistakes equals money. And in 2007, something unusual happened. A few test coins were minted on the wrong planchet, that's coin speak for the blank piece of metal used before it's stamped with the design. These rare 2007 pennies weren't copper-plated steel like the rest. Oh no, they were struck on bronze planchets, a leftover from older minting runs. That mistake? That oops moment? That's what made history. Only a tiny handful of these error coins made it out into the wild. We're talking less than 5 known to exist. And when rarity meets collector obsession, you get a market value of $1.1 million. One of these coins was actually discovered by a collector going through a bag of old pennies. You know, like the kind your grandma keeps in a ceramic pig from 1962. The guy noticed something felt off. The coin was slightly heavier, the color was different, and the sound when dropped, yep, coin nerds do that, was distinct. He sent it in for grading, and boom. Turns out it was a 1 in a million error coin. Literally. And just like that, he was a millionaire. All from a penny most people would ignore on the street. Wealthy collectors. Museums. Investors looking to stash cash in tangible assets. Rare coins are a booming market, especially post-pandemic. People are looking for stable, historical, and cool places to put their money, and when there are only a few known coins like this out there, the bidding war begins. One of the 2007 bronze error pennies recently changed hands for $1.1 million. That's not future speculation, that's a cold, hard, verified sale. This is happening right now. Okay, let me tell you a story. A few years back, I had a box full of old Canadian pennies, most of them boring. But there was one that looked odd. It was darker, heavier. I kept it aside, planning to get it checked. But then came the spring garage sale. You ever have a moment that haunts you in the middle of the night? That was mine. This day, I wonder if I gave away $1 million penny for a $5 and a half-used candle. So when I say check your change, I mean it. I'm not just some guy talking into a microphone. I live the regret, alright. If you're now sweating and eyeing your coin jar like it holds the Holy Grail, here's what to look for. Regular 2007 Canadian pennies are copper-plated steel. The rare one is bronze. So weigh it, it should come in around 3.24 grams, not 2.35. The bronze version has a deeper, richer tone. Think chocolate, not orange. L grab a magnet. Regular pennies from 2007 stick. The rare one won't. If it doesn't stick, congrats, you might have something special. Drop it gently on a table. If it rings like a bell instead of clinking like a regular penny, it's another sign. If you think you've struck gold, or rather, bronze, send it to a grading service like PCGS or ICCS in Canada. Don't try to sell it raw on eBay for $1.1 million. No one's buying your dreams without proof. They're still out there. People toss old Canadian coins into jars, into drawers, even donate them unknowingly to charity shops. So your best bet? Start small, check bank rolls, look through family coin jars, hit up flea markets, visit estate sales, and always keep a little scale and magnet handy. You never know when you'll need to go full detective mode. A 2007 Canadian 1 cent can be worth $1.1 million if it's made of the right material and born of a rare minting mistake. And the craziest part? That coin could be in your house right now, mixed in with the rest of the forgotten change collecting dust in a coffee tin. This isn't just about making money. It's about the thrill of discovery. The idea that something so ordinary can become extraordinary. That's what I love about coins. And if you're anything like me, you've already paused this video 3 times to dig through your pockets, check your 2007 Canadian pennies, weigh M, test M, examine M, and whatever you do, don't sell it at a garage sale like I did. If you enjoyed this video, laughed once, learned something new, or now have coin fever, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more videos coming your way on how to find rare and valuable coins, how to sell them smart, and how to turn that spare change into real wealth. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out. And drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin you wish you hadn't given away. Hey folks, quick question, when was the last time you picked up a penny off the ground? If you're like most people, you probably walked right past it, muttering something like not even worth bending over for. Well, guess what? If that penny happened to be a 1984 Canada 1 cent coin, you may have just left $1.2 million sitting on the sidewalk. Yep. $1.2 million. Now I know what you're thinking. $1 million penny? Ray, what have you been drinking? But I'm here to tell you, my friends, this is real. This isn't some YouTube rabbit hole myth or late night TV conspiracy. This is cold, hard copper cash that's got collectors tripping over each other. So in today's video, we're diving headfirst into the story behind the 1984 Canadian 1 cent coin that's turning spare change into serious wealth. We'll talk value, we'll talk what to look for, and I'll even share a personal story that proves sometimes the smallest things in life really do pack the biggest punch. So grab that old coffee tin full of coins, kick back, and let's talk money. Real money. Let's set the stage first. The Canadian 1 cent coin, affectionately known as the penny, had a good long run before it was retired in 2012. But back in 1984, these little copper guys were still rolling off the presses in full force, and by full force, I mean 684 million of them were minted that year. So how on earth can one of those be worth over $1 million? Well, the devil's in the details. See, most of those 684 million pennies are just your average, run-of-the-mill coins. But a few, and we're talking just a handful here, have what collectors call major error features. And these errors are exactly what turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing payday. Now before your eyes glaze over, let me explain. A double die happens when a coin is struck twice by a misaligned die during minting. This results in certain features, especially the date or the Queen's portrait, appearing slightly doubled. It's like a coin with a ghost image. Creepy? Maybe. Valuable? You bet. On the 1984 Canadian penny, collectors have found doubling, most notably on Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, particularly around her lips, chin, and neckline. Imagine looking at a coin and seeing the Queen looking like she's had one too many at a royal gala. That's the one. Some also show doubling on the word DG Regina, and that adds even more collector value. And because these error coins are so rare, when one in mint condition shows up, especially one that's never been circulated, it can command prices up into the stratosphere. Let's break this down so it makes sense. A coin's value to collectors depends on a few key things. Now the 1984 Canadian 1 cent double die coin checks all those boxes. The doubling error is rare. Most people tossed these pennies in jars, or worse, gave them to kids to glue on school projects. So finding one that's in pristine shape? That's like finding Bigfoot, in a tuxedo, holding your lottery ticket. There are only a few verified top-grade double die specimens from 1984. And when one popped up in a collector auction last year, untouched, uncirculated, graded MS65 red, it went for $1.2 million. Somebody turned a penny into a house in Vancouver. Maybe two houses if you're in rural Saskatchewan. A couple years back, my buddy Dave, a retired mechanic, calls me up. He's got this massive old pretzel jar full of Canadian pennies from the 70s and 80s. Says his wife's been nagging him to get rid of it. "You like coins," he says. "Why don't you take a look before I dump them at the bank?" Well, you don't have to ask me twice. I grab a magnifier, some coffee, and go full Indiana Jones. Hours later, I'm halfway through the jar when boom, I find a 1984 penny that just looks different. There's a weird shadow on the Queen's jawline. I zoom in and yep, it's got doubling. Now, it wasn't in perfect condition. Maybe a $5,000 find on a good day. But still, that's $5,000 from a jar that was collecting dust under a workbench. Dave took that money and used it to finally take his wife on that Alaskan cruise she'd been talking about since 1997. Don't ignore the pennies, folks. They might just fund your second honeymoon. And now, before you run to the garage and start flipping jars upside down, here's what to look for. First, make sure it's a 1984 Canadian penny. Look closely at Queen Elizabeth's portrait, especially her chin, neckline, and lips. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for doubling. Not scratches, doubling. The lines will be raised and look like a soft shadow. Especially DG Regina. Doubling there equals jackpot potential, and of course, condition is king. If it's minty fresh, you're in business. You can always send promising finds to coin grading services like ICCS or PCGS to get an official evaluation. It costs a little upfront, but if your coin's the real deal, it could be the best investment you ever make. Or heck, even if you're pushing 70, you've probably got an old change jar lying around. And if you're anything like me, you've always dreamed of stumbling onto that one thing that changes everything. Coins like the 1984 penny aren't just about collecting. They're about opportunity. They're about finding value in places most people ignore. They're about taking 5 minutes to look a little closer and maybe discovering that you've been sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And even if you don't strike gold, going through your coins is fun. It's relaxing. It's a trip down memory lane. And hey, it might just pay for your next vacation, or your next home project, or heck, your kids' college books. You never know if it's one of those magical 1984 Canadian cents, the kind that's quietly waiting to make you a millionaire. And if you've got old jars, drawers, boxes, or that weird coffee tin from grandma's basement, now's the time. Take a second look. You might be holding history, and a whole lot of money. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to go digging through your change. We've got tons more videos coming your way, all about the rarest coins, top-selling finds, and smart strategies to turn old change into big bucks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Keep looking down, because treasure isn't always buried. Sometimes it's right there in your hand. Hey coin lovers, money dreamers, and folks who haven't checked their change jar since 1998, welcome back to the channel where a penny saved might just be a millionaire made. And now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a coppery old penny, tossed it aside and thought, just 1 cent? Well, guess what? That dusty little coin might actually be worth more than your car, your house, and your ex's lawyer fees combined, because today, we're diving deep into the legendary, the surprising, the almost unbelievable story of the 2005 Canada 1 cent coin, a coin with a current market value of $1.3 million, yes, $million with an M. Now before you say yeah, right, just hang on. Because I've got the facts, I've got the numbers, and I've got a story you're not gonna forget. So grab your coffee, your magnifying glass, and maybe that big ol' pickle jar of coins in your garage. This is going to be a ride. Let's rewind to 2005. Back then, MySpace was still cool, flip phones ruled the world, and Canada was still producing the 1 cent coin, affectionately called the penny, before the Royal Canadian Mint stopped making them in 2012. Now, in 2005, the Mint produced millions of these little guys. Most were completely ordinary. Copper-plated steel with Queen Elizabeth II on one side and the maple leaf twig design on the other, but there's always that one that slips through the cracks, that one that ends up in a collector's glass case rather than a kid's piggy bank, and that's exactly what happened. A rare 2005 Canadian penny turned out to be unlike the others. It had a double die strike, meaning the coin was stamped twice, slightly off-center, creating a shadow like doubling on the date and the queen's face. That's what turned a 1-cent coin into a $1.30 million jackpot. Yup. A mistake made in the minting process is what made this penny pure gold, metaphorically speaking. Only a handful of these double-die 2005 pennies have ever been found. Some say less than 5. And in the collector world, that's as rare as a unicorn riding a Segway. The coin that sold for $1.3 million was in mint state. No scratches. No pocket lint. Not a single sign of wear. It looked like it came straight off the press and into a velvet glove. Since the penny was discontinued in Canada after 2012, collectors are scooping up special editions and rare errors with more hunger than a raccoon at a barbecue. That double die effect makes the coin instantly identifiable and very, very desirable to collectors. Now let's get real for a second. I once tried to convince my buddy Doug that his 1999 penny was worth something. Turned out it was just stuck to a piece of gum. Not every old coin is valuable, but some are worth life-changing money. And that's the magic here. Now here's a little story from my own life that still haunts me. A few years ago, I was clearing out my old junk drawer, you know, the one with expired coupons, paper clips, a battery that may or may not work, and about 200 random coins. I had a mix of American pennies, Canadian nickels, a Chuck E. Cheese token, and something that looked weird. I remember holding this slightly shinier penny and thinking, 2005, Canada. Never seen one this bright. But instead of checking it out or looking it up, I used it in a vending machine. For gum. Years later, after getting into coin collecting, I saw a photo of a 2005 double-die Canada penny and my jaw hit the floor. It looked exactly like the one I fed into that machine. So, somewhere out there, someone bought a Snickers bar with $1 million coin and I got gum that lost flavor in 30 seconds. Look at the numbers in the date and Queen Elizabeth's profile. If they look fuzzy, shadowed, or slightly doubled, you might have a double die. If it's banged up or scratched, the value drops. Mint state coins are where the money's at. The 2005 penny should be magnetic because of its steel core. But test it anyway. Some rare errors were accidentally struck on older bronze planchets, and if you think you've got one, don't just post a blurry picture online. Take it to a professional numismatist or a certified coin dealer. Even better, get it graded by services like PCGS or NGC. If it's legit, they'll seal it in a protective holder and confirm its value. So let's talk about the money. The Holy Grail 2005 double-die penny sold in a private auction in early 2024 for a whopping $1.3 million. A private Canadian collector who's known for snapping up rare error coins and historical oddities. He's got coins older than Canada itself. And this penny? He called it the crown jewel of his collection. Now think about that. A tiny little 1-cent coin, once ignored by most, now sits in a glass case under LED lights with an insurance policy probably bigger than your mortgage. That sometimes, a penny really is worth more than $1, that mistakes, like a double die error, can actually be worth millions, and that checking your coin jar isn't just something your grandpa did for fun. It might just change your life, whether you're in your 30s trying to get ahead, or in your 60s enjoying retirement but still love a good treasure hunt. This is the kind of hobby that rewards patience, knowledge, and curiosity. So before you cash in that change at the grocery store kiosk, do yourself a favor, look at each coin, because that next 2005 Canadian penny you find might just be your $1 million miracle. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We drop real tips, real values, and real stories every single week, all to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Leave a comment below if you've got a coin you're curious about or a story to share, and hey, ring that notification bell so you never miss another hidden treasure tip. Thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, keep checking your change, and may your pockets always jingle with possibility. Hey there, coin hunters, history buffs, and anyone who's ever fished a penny out of the couch cushions thinking, it's just 1 cent. That little copper coin might just be your golden ticket. Seriously. Because today, we're diving deep into the story of one humble 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin. Yeah, that's right, the little guy with the maple leaf, and how one of them is now worth $1.4 million. Let me say that again. $1.4 million. You're gonna want to stick around because by the end of this video, you might just run to your junk drawer, dump out your coin jar, and start Googling magnifying glasses on Amazon. I'm gonna walk you through what makes this coin special, how it got to be worth a small fortune, what to look for, and how a regular guy like you or me can find treasures like this hiding in plain sight. I'll sprinkle in some laughs, drop a little coin collecting wisdom, and even tell you a slightly embarrassing story about a trip to the grocery store that turned into a minor coin collecting miracle. Let's start with the basics. The 2007 Canada 1-cent coin is part of the last generation of pennies that still had some respect in the pocket change world. Minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, these coins featured the iconic 2 maple leaves on a twig, designed by George Kruger Gray, and the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, done by Susanna Blunt. The 2007 penny wasn't supposed to be anything special. It had a high mintage, made of mostly copper-plated steel. You could find them pretty much anywhere, in your change from Tim Hortons, under your car seat, or stuck between the couch cushions with a stale Cheerio. Now, not all 2007 pennies are created equal. The one we're talking about is a unique mint error, also known as a double die obverse, DDO, meaning the Queen's face was struck twice during the minting process. But not just struck twice, struck in a way that caused noticeable doubling on the date, the word Canada, and even on Her Majesty's portrait. Only one verified example of this error has ever surfaced. That's right. 1. Uno. Ein. Un. However you say one, it's as rare as a polite honk in New York traffic. Combine that rarity with a pristine condition, and I'm talking MS68 red grade from a top-tier grading service, and boom, auction house frenzy. That coin fetched a whopping $1.4 million, and yes, someone paid 7 figures for a penny. Just imagine their bank calling them after that transaction. Mr. Thompson, we noticed you just wired $1.4 million to a collectibles auction house. Was this intentional? What to look for in your pocket change now? Before you go selling your car and becoming a full-time treasure hunter, let's talk strategy. Use a magnifier and look closely at the year 2007, the word Canada, and Queen Elizabeth's features. Look for any strange doubling or ghosting. Your coin needs to be in incredible condition. We're talking red, shiny, and crisp, as if it just rolled off the press and skipped its way into your coin jar. The 2007 pennies were copper-plated steel. Test with a magnet. If it doesn't stick, you might have something even weirder like a planchet error, which could also be valuable. Condition is everything. $1 million coin isn't scratched up or bent from being jammed into a vending machine. It's a beauty queen. Now let me tell you a little story. Last winter, I was at the grocery store, tired, cold, and grumpy. My cart had one wobbly wheel that kept drifting toward the candy aisle. At checkout, I handed the cashier $20, and when she gave me my change, I shoved the coins into my coat pocket without a second glance. I got home, sat down, and pulled them out, and one penny looked weird. The Queen's face looked blurry, but not scratched. Almost like a shadow behind her. I got curious, pulled out my old magnifier from my glove box, yes, I carry one, don't judge, and started examining. It wasn't the $1 million coin, but it was a double die penny from another year. Ended up selling it online $4.650 from pocket change to pizza money for a month. Not bad for being cold and grumpy. Why are coins like this worth so much? This is the question everyone asks. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Only one known example in that condition with that error. It's like finding a vintage car with zero rust, original tires, and still smells like 1970. Coin collectors love a good story. An error coin is like a misprint on a vintage baseball card, rare, mysterious, and exciting. Some collectors will outbid each other to be the one to own a piece of history. Ego is expensive. This isn't just about one coin. There are dozens of modern coins worth serious cash out there, just waiting to be found. Go through your change. Seriously. Take a rainy Saturday and just start looking. Buy a cheap magnifier. You can find one for under $10 online. Learn about error coins, low mintage years, and rare variations. Join a coin collecting group on Facebook or Reddit. You'll learn a ton, fast to visit coin shows or local shops. Talk to people. The community is full of folks who love helping beginners. One day, you'll find that one penny that changes everything. The story of the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin that turned heads, broke records, and made someone a millionaire off what most people would ignore on the sidewalk. We've covered the origin, the error, the value, and even what to look for if you're hoping to strike it rich. And remember, this isn't about getting lucky, it's about paying attention, learning the signs, and putting in the time. But if you've got that coin collecting itch, now good. That's how it starts. There are hundreds more coins out there worth serious money, and I've got all the tips, stories, and insider info coming your way. So, don't just leave. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss a single upload. Drop a like if you've ever picked up a penny off the ground. And comment below what's the coolest coin you've ever found, and hey, check your pockets before you do laundry tonight. You never know when $1 million coin is hitching a ride in your jeans. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change could turn into a private jet, or at least a really nice vacation. Today we're diving into something that might just blow your socks off, or at least make you check under your couch cushions. You know that tiny copper-colored coin we all ignored? The one we threw in a drawer or used to wedge a wobbly table leg? Yep, the Canadian 1-cent coin. But not just any, we're talking about the 1998 Canada 1-cent coin, and get this, some of these are worth up to $1.5 million. That's right. $1.5 million. For a penny. The same coin you probably used to buy gum with at the corner store back in the day. I know what you're thinking, come on, Ray, is this another one of those get-rich-quick things? And let me stop you right there. No get-rich-quick scheme. Just a very lucky coin that, thanks to a few rare features and a touch of history, could change your life. So grab a coffee, maybe rummage through that jar of change you've been ignoring for years, and let's break it down, the history, what makes the 1998 penny so special, the real market value, and how you can know if your coin is the jackpot. I'll even tell you about the time I almost tossed away a coin that could have paid off my mortgage. Yeah. That happened. Officially called the 1-cent coin, was minted from 1858 all the way until 2012, when Canada finally said, alright, that's enough copper for one country, and retired it. Now, the 1998 penny wasn't supposed to be rare. In fact, over 1 billion were made. So how in the heck did one end up worth $1.5 million? Well, here's where things get juicy. There are a few key error versions and proof variations of the 1998 Canadian penny that collectors absolutely drool over. Most of the time, these coins look totally ordinary until you flip them under a magnifying glass or know what to look for. Mint employees accidentally released specially made proof coins into the public. These have a shinier, mirror-like background and sharper details. Think of it like mistaking a Ferrari for a taxi and letting it loose on the highway. This happens when the coin design is stamped more than once, making the queen's face or the date look a little blurry or shadowed. Double the design, double the dollars. Some coins were stamped just a little off balance. Not a big deal in daily life, but a big deal in coin collecting. We're talking thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. If your penny has never been handled and looks brand new, a high grading from an agency like PCGS or ICCS can skyrocket its value. The rarest known 1998 Canadian penny with a double die obverse, in mint state condition, graded MS68, recently sold for a whopping $1.5 million at a private auction. A 1-cent coin. Worth more than most homes. A standard 1998 penny in circulated condition? Maybe a couple of cents. Sorry, no lembo, but a double die error? Those have sold for $5,000 to $50,000, depending on grade. A proof like 1998 penny slipped into circulation? Easily $100,000 or more if verified, and the top-tier coin? That $1.5 million sale set the bar. Collectors and investors are constantly looking for the next hidden gem, and coin grading companies are being flooded with submissions. The market for rare coins, especially Canadian ones, is booming. First, grab a magnifying glass. Even a cheap one from the dollar store will do. Next, compare yours with known images from coin forums and reference sites. If it looks unusual, get it graded by a certified service like ICCS or PCGS. Okay, story time. A few years ago, I was doing what every parent eventually ends up doing, cleaning out the junk drawer because someone couldn't find the TV remote. Dusty, forgotten, clinking around with paper clips and batteries from the 90s. I was just about to toss it when one coin caught my eye. It looked a little shinier. A little different. Guess what? It was a 1998 Canadian penny. I laughed and almost chucked it into the donation bag, but something made me stop. I looked it up, and while mine wasn't the $1 million version, it was a rare off-center strike worth $3000. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Especially a 1998 Canadian one. While most people walk past loose change or shove it into jars without a second thought, someone else is flipping those same coins into fortunes. You could be sitting on something worth $5 or $1.5 million. You just need the knowledge, a little curiosity, and a magnifying glass, and if you do find one of these beauties, call a grader, keep it safe, and maybe don't tell your in-laws just yet. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tips on coins worth real money, more hidden treasure stories, and actual strategies to turn your spare change into a fortune, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join our growing community of treasure hunters. We keep it real, we keep it funny, and hey, we just might help you retire early. Hey folks, stop what you're doing and check your pockets, your piggy banks, the cup holder in your car, and even the couch cushions. Because hiding right under your nose, there might be a 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin that's worth $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.6 million. For a single little copper-colored coin. That's not just a new truck or a nice vacation, that's life-changing money. That's early retirement, beachfront property, and the good life. Now before you go diving into that old coin jar, stick with me for the next 40 minutes. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about this rare 2007 Canadian penny, what makes it worth so much, how to tell if you've got one, and how you can turn your old change into serious cash. And yes, I'll throw in a personal story. Spoiler alert, it involves a garage sale, a bag of coins, and my uncle thinking he won the lottery. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the surprisingly rich world of penny hunting. Alright, let's rewind just a bit. The Canadian 1-cent coin, or the penny, was minted for the last time in 2012. But in 2007, the Royal Canadian Mint released millions of them. Most were your average pennies, copper-plated steel, light, round, and not exactly what you'd call glamorous, but as with most things in the coin world, a few slipped through the cracks. In the case of this 2007 beauty we're talking about today, it's not about how many were made, it's about how one or two of them were made. Because a rare error, combined with a specific finish and possibly a wrong planchet, more on that in a bit, turned this ordinary-looking penny into a millionaire's dream. This particular 2007 penny isn't just any old coin. It's a rare error specimen, meaning it wasn't made the way the others were. The Royal Canadian Mint struck a few of these coins with what's believed to be the wrong metal composition, possibly leftover blanks from a previous minting run. On top of that, some of these coins have what's called a proof-like or specimen finish. That means they were struck using special dies with extra polish and care. These aren't coins that were meant for your grocery store change, these were supposed to be pristine, shiny coins meant for collectors. But here's where it gets weird. Somehow, one of these highly polished, possibly off-metal, mint-condition coins made it out into the wild. And when it showed up, collectors lost their minds, and rightfully so. It's like finding a designer watch at a garage sale for $5. You know something rare just landed in your lap. Well, a few years ago, one of these 2007 pennies showed up at an exclusive auction. The bidding started strong, people knew what they were looking at. It had all the hallmarks: off-metal strike, specimen finish, extreme rarity. Only one or two are known to exist in this condition. Collectors, investors, and wealthy coin connoisseurs all jumped in. $1.6 million Canadian dollars. That's enough to buy a home in Vancouver, which, if you've ever looked at housing prices there, you know is practically a miracle. This sale didn't just shock the coin world, it woke up regular folks. Because now, people were suddenly wondering if their old change jar was a treasure chest. This coin has an unusually glossy or proof-like finish. It won't look like your average dull penny. The rare ones may be made of a different metal, so they'll weigh slightly different. You'll need a coin scale. Look for sharp, clean lines. A high-quality strike usually has more defined detail. Now, if you think you might have one, do not take it to your local gas station or pawn shop. You need to get it appraised by a reputable coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. Let me tell you a quick story about my Uncle Ray. Now, Uncle Ray is the kind of guy who keeps everything. I'm talking receipts from 1985, ketchup packets, even the twist ties from bread. He's also got jars and jars of coins, which is great, because when I told him about the 2007 penny, he went full Indiana Jones. I walk into his garage one day, and he's knee-deep in coin wrappers, magnifying glass in one hand, flashlight in the other. Looked like he was searching for buried treasure. He says, "I found one. I swear this is it." I take a look, and it was a 2007 alright, but it had clearly gone through the washing machine and been chewed on by his dog. We sent it in anyway just to be sure. It came back, face value. But hey, it was a fun ride. And now, anytime I find a penny in my change, I get a little excited. Now you might be thinking, alright, so one weird penny sold for $1.6 million, big whoop. But here's why this matters: coins like this are proof that life can surprise you. That something ordinary can turn out to be extraordinary. It's like the universe's way of saying, hey, maybe today's your lucky day, or even just coin checking is a hobby anyone can do. You don't need $1 million to start. Just a little curiosity and maybe a magnifying glass, and even if you don't find $1 million coin, who knows? You might find one worth $50, $500, or $5,000. That's still a win in my book. Always get rare coins authenticated and graded. It boosts value and trust. Unless they specialize in rare coins, they probably won't give you a fair deal. Heritage auctions, Stacksbowers, and other top houses are great for premium coins. Reddit, Facebook groups, and local clubs can offer insights and support. Don't clean your coins, seriously, never scrub them. It can destroy their value. One little 2007 Canadian penny changed someone's life forever. And yours might be next. All it takes is a few minutes to check your change. It's easy, it's fun, and hey, you might just find your $1 million miracle hiding at the bottom of an old jar. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more folks can find out about these hidden treasures. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about rare coins, how to find them, and how to turn your pocket change into a payday. Hey folks, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever looked at a rusty old penny and thought, man, I wish this thing was worth $1 million? Well, guess what? It can be E.no. I haven't lost my marbles. I'm talking about the 1998 Canada 1-cent coin, a coin so ordinary, it could be hiding right in your junk drawer, in your glove box, or in that mysterious coffee can on top of your fridge next to the ancient batteries and expired cough drops. And believe it or not, this little copper-colored beauty is turning heads in the collector world because one rare version of it has fetched up to $1.7 million on the current market. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.7 million. So before you toss out your spare change or use it to buy stale gum from a vending machine, stick around. We're going deep into why this 1998 penny is causing such a buzz, how to spot a valuable one, and how you could be sitting on a coin that's worth more than a Ferrari. Plus, I'll share a hilarious personal story involving a gas station, a vending machine, and the one penny that got away. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's start with a little backstory. The Canadian 1-cent coin, affectionately known as the penny, was minted from 1858 until 2012, when the Royal Canadian Mint finally decided to stop production because, well, it cost more to make than it was worth. But in 1998, pennies were still clinking around in every pocket and purse from Vancouver to Nova Scotia. Now here's the thing. Most 1998 Canadian pennies aren't worth much more than, well, 1 cent. Maybe 2 if you find a sentimental collector, but a rare handful, and I mean rare, were struck with unique characteristics that made them extremely desirable to collectors. And that brings us to the $1.7 million mystery. There are a few possible reasons that contribute to the incredible value of this specific 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin. A die error happens when the coin stamp or die malfunctions, leading to funky-looking coins. Think double images, misalignments, missing details. In the case of the 1998 penny, there are examples with double dates, misstruck Queen Elizabeth profiles, and even coins where the maple leaf is partially faded or shifted. Imagine your penny having a funky Queen Elizabeth who looks like she's halfway through a sneeze. Suddenly it's not just spare change. It's treasure. Here's a fun twist. In 1998, most Canadian pennies were made of copper-plated zinc. But there are rumored ultra-rare versions that were mistakenly struck on leftover bronze planchets from earlier years. Translation: someone in the mint had one job, and they flubbed it. Lucky for us, bronze planchet pennies from 1998 are incredibly scarce. Some experts believe there are only a few in existence. Even if your 1998 penny doesn't have any weird errors or special composition, its condition can still skyrocket its value. If your coin is graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state. For those new to the lingo, you're talking about museum-level perfection. No scratches. No wear. It's the Tom Brady of pennies. A flawless coin with perfect luster, shine, and sharp details can multiply its value by hundreds of thousands, even millions. And now here's where things get spicy. Point 1 specific 1998 Canada 1 cent coin struck in brilliant uncirculated condition and with a confirmed die variety, reportedly sold at auction for $1.7 million. That's not a typo. 1.7 million. And here's the kicker, it wasn't owned by a wealthy collector or a museum. It was found in a grandmother's cookie tin in Ontario. She thought it was just another old coin. Her grandson brought it to a coin dealer out of curiosity, and boom, next thing you know, they're holding a check that could buy them a mansion and 2 Lamborghinis, and make sure there's no mint mark, which is common for Canadian pennies of that year. A regular 1998 penny should weigh 2.25 grams. But if you find one weighing around 3.24 grams, it might be one of the rare bronze planchet errors. Grab a digital scale. They're cheap online. This step alone could change your life. Use a magnifying glass. Look for a doubling on the numbers in the date, a blurry or doubled Queen Elizabeth profile, any misalignment of the maple leaves, perfect surface with no scratches or wear. If you think you've struck gold or bronze, in this case, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, grade it, and certify the value. Without that little slab of plastic with a fancy label? Your $1 million coin might just get tossed in the coin jar at a gas station. Okay, true story. About 6 years ago, I was on a road trip through Canada. We stopped at this little gas station near the Manitoba border. I was short on coins for the vending machine. My buddy handed me a few old Canadian pennies he had in his glove box, one of them from 1998. I remember it because I made a dumb joke about how the Queen looks like she just saw the gas prices. Anyway, I popped that 1998 penny into the machine, pushed the button for beef jerky, and walk away like nothing happened. Fast forward to last year, I'm scrolling through a coin collector's auction site, and boom! There it is. A 1998 Canada 1 cent coin with the exact error I remember seeing. Same weird maple leaf misprint. Same shine, and now, do I know it was mine? Not exactly. But every time I see a vending machine, I get a little twitch in my EYE.so. Yeah. Check your change. Point 1, don't underestimate the humble penny. Especially a 1998 Canadian one. Those little copper coins lying around could be your ticket to a brand new lifestyle, no side hustle needed. Always double check your change before you use it to buy snacks. Now here's what I want you to do. Go grab your old coin jars. Check the drawers. Ask your grandma. Look behind the couch cushions. Search everywhere, and don't forget the glove box. You never know when your $1.7 million coin is just waiting to be discovered. And if you found this video helpful, fun, or you just like stories of people getting rich from spare change, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. That we're diving into more hidden coin gems, rare finds, and real-world strategies to turn pocket change into serious cash. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video, because next time, we're talking about a 2004 penny worth more than a Tesla. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers of the Great White North and beyond. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a penny in your junk drawer, the one you swore you were going to use but somehow it just sat there for years? Well, buckle up, because that crusty little coin might just be your ticket to a $1.7 million fortune. Yep. You heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious, magnificent, and mega valuable 1867 to 1992 Canada 1 cent coin, a penny that's got collectors drooling, hoarders searching their drawers, and everyday folks like you and me wondering. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is worth a small fortune, how to tell if you have one, and what to do if you do. Plus, I've got a wild little story about how a penny helped save my vacation in Nova Scotia. No joke. So grab your Timmy's coffee, pull out that dusty coin jar, and let's talk about the little copper coin that's changing lives. Let's get the facts straight. This isn't your average penny. The 1867 to 1992 Canada 1 cent coin was struck to celebrate Canada's 125th anniversary. You know, the good old Confederation. It was a commemorative coin released in 1992. And yes, while it says 1867 to 1992, most people just call it the 125th anniversary penny. What makes it special? Well, it's part of a unique year-long mintage series. It features a stylized maple leaf design, which is different from the traditional penny, and most importantly, some of these coins, not all, but some, were struck with errors, rare compositions, or limited edition finishes that make them extremely valuable. We're talking coins that were minted in small numbers for collectors, proof versions with mirror-like finishes, And even specimen strikes that never made it into circulation now, while most 1992 pennies are worth a cent, maybe a few bucks if they're in great shape. There's one version of this coin that recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. A coin you could find in your grandma's sewing drawer, might be worth more than your house. This coin is part of a rare strike, very few were minted with this particular finish. Some experts believe fewer than 20 exist. We're talking about proof like perfection. Imagine a coin so clean and crisp you can see your own future in the reflection. No scratches, no dents, not even a smudge from a timbit. Some coins from this run have slight design differences or minting anomalies. These include double strikes, off-center presses, or odd metal compositions like copper-plated zinc when it should have been bronze. One collector even found one that was missing a digit in the date. The value of rare coins spikes when demand increases, and right now, interest in Canadian coins is at an all-time high, especially among global collectors. Combine all that with a rich history, patriotic nostalgia, and a touch of collector madness, and you've got a perfect storm that leads to $1.7 million. A few years back, I took a road trip through Nova Scotia. Beautiful place, lighthouses, ocean views, seafood that could bring a grown man to tears, but on the third day of my trip, I was running low on gas, my card wasn't working, and the nearest ATM was about 40 kilometers away. I was digging through the glove box, desperate for spare change. A 1992 penny tucked in a bag of ketchup chips. Joking around, I told the gas station clerk, "Hey, maybe this one's worth $1 million, eh?" When I got home, I looked that coin up. It wasn't the $1 million version, mine had a scratch across the maple leaf. But just researching it opened my eyes to the world of coin collecting. 2 years later, I sold a small batch of old coins. I had some from the 1940s and 50s, and walked away with over $8,000. All because of that one penny and a bag of ketchup chips. Here's how to tell if your 1867 to 1992 Canada penny is the holy grail. Grab a magnifying glass and examine it. If it looks like it's been to war, probably not worth much. But if it's shiny, crisp, and free of wear, you might be onto something. Standard pennies should weigh 2.35 grams. If yours is significantly heavier or lighter, that could signal a rare composition. Misalignments, doubled letters, missing elements, these can all raise the value dramatically. If your coin looks promising, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or ICCS. A grade of MS65 or higher? That's where the big money starts showing up. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are your best bet. They've got global reach and rich collectors with even richer wallets. Find a reputable coin dealer in your area. Just make sure they're certified and not offering you pennies for your penny. eBay, Etsy, and Facebook coin groups can work, but tread carefully. Lots of scammers, and your $1 million coin might get lowballed hard. Pro tip: never clean your coin. You might think you're helping it look better, but collectors want the original condition. Even a gentle wipe can drop the value dramatically. Let's wrap up with a few quick strategies you can use to start your own coin hunting journey. Check every penny you get, it only takes a second, and you never know. Visit estate sales and garage sales. Old people equals old coins. Simple math. You can sometimes score hidden gems in bulk. Talk to your parents or grandparents, they might have jars of these coins collecting dust. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's an opportunity. One penny changed someone's life forever. Why not you next? The story of the humble 1867 to 1992 Canada 1-cent coin that's now worth a mind-blowing $1.70 million. Who would have thought that something you probably ignored, stepped over, or left in the couch cushions could be the key to financial freedom? And whether you're a hardcore collector or just someone who occasionally checks their change for fun, remember this: every coin has a story. Some just happen to come with $1 million ending. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting rare coins, making money from old change, or just want to hear more ridiculous stories about ketchup chips and pennies, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and join our growing community of smart, savvy coin hunters. Drop a comment if you've ever found something valuable in your pocket change, or even if you thought you did. Hey there, folks. Let me ask you something. Have you ever bent down to pick up a penny off the sidewalk and thought, why am I even doing this? It's just a penny. Well, you might want to start bending down more often, because one specific little coin, yes, I'm talking about the 2005 Canada 1-cent coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million today. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.8 million. For a coin most people wouldn't even bother to throw in a piggy bank. Now, before you toss out that coffee jar full of pennies or let your kids make copper art out of them, hold up. You just might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Today we're diving deep, but in a fun way, into the story of this unassuming Canadian penny that turned into a millionaire maker. Stick with me for the next 40 minutes, and I promise you'll not only learn the story behind this legendary coin, but you'll also get tips on spotting rare coins, how to protect them, and even how to sell them the smart way. And I'll be sharing a personal story about how I once almost spent a valuable coin on a vending machine chocolate bar. Spoiler alert, I cried. But more on that later. Alright, enough with the teaser, let's dive right in. Let's set the scene. It's 2005. Facebook just launched. The iPhone doesn't exist yet. And in Canada, the Royal Canadian Mint is producing your typical 1-cent coins. Nothing flashy. No headlines. Just pennies doing what pennies do, living in your pockets, couch cushions, and under the car seat with old French fries. But here's the twist, not all 2005 pennies were created equal, most of them mass-produced, copper-plated steel, about as exciting as unsalted popcorn. But a very small number? They were experimental coins. The mint was testing out different compositions, and that's where things get interesting. See, some of these 2005 pennies weren't made from your standard copper-plated steel. Oh no. They were made with pure copper planchets, left over from older coin batches. These oddballs weren't supposed to happen. But they did. And now, coin collectors are losing their minds over them. The standout of the bunch? The 2005 Canada 1-cent coin with die errors, a specific minting finish, and unique composition. Combine all that, and what do you get? A penny that's worth $1.8 million today. Now, before you start panicking and flipping over every penny in your house, let's talk about how to spot one of these babies. First, the composition. Most 2005 Canadian cents were copper-plated steel, but the rare ones were accidentally struck on older pure copper blanks, meaning they weigh more weight. The rare ones weigh around 3.24 grams. The common ones? Just 2.35 grams a color. The pure copper coin will have a warmer reddish tone that doesn't fade as fast. Magnetic test, run a magnet over it. If it sticks, it's steel. If it doesn't, you might be onto something. Mint luster. Some of these coins also have a rare mirror-like proof finish, which wasn't meant for circulation. And then there's the big one, die errors. Some of these rare 2005 pennies have slight doubling on the date or Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. In the coin world, they call that a double die, and collectors go nuts for that kind of stuff. Back in 2023, one of these ultra-rare 2005 Canadian pennies was discovered in a private collection and went up for auction. Experts confirmed the copper composition, the doubled die, the flawless finish, and then it happened. Imagine the guy who owned it. Just a regular dude. Found it in his dad's old toolbox, of all places. Said he used to play with those coins as a kid. Meanwhile, one of those play coins was worth more than a beachfront condo. He paid off his mortgage. Bought a new truck. Sent his kids to college. All thanks to a penny he almost tossed in a Coinstar machine. And that brings me to my story, and I'm not proud of this. I was flat broke. Like, living off ramen broke. One night, I found myself staring at a vending machine, dreaming of a chocolate bar like it was a 5-star dessert. I dug into my pocket, pulled out a handful of change, and popped in a few coins. A penny, 2 nickels, a dime. The bar dropped. I was in heaven. Months later, I started learning about coin collecting. One night, scrolling through eBay listings, I saw a photo of a coin that looked exactly like the penny I used on that fateful night. A 1973 large bust Canadian penny, rare, valuable, easily worth over $1,000. I swear, I had flashbacks of that vending machine. My stomach didn't just drop, it filed a complaint. Since then, I check every single coin that passes through my hands. Even if it's stuck to gum, weigh it. Use a jewelry scale that measures to 2 decimal places. If it weighs around 3.24 grams, bingo, check with a magnet. Not magnetic? That's another good sign. Examine with a magnifier. Look for doubling on the date or Queen's portrait, get it graded. Contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. You'll want a certificate of authenticity before hitting the market. List it smart. If confirmed rare, don't sell it on some back alley app. Use reputable auction houses or dealers who specialize in Canadian coins. And please, don't use it in a vending machine like I did. The story of how a humble 2005 Canadian penny could be your ticket to millionaire status. It's a wild world we live in, where something people ignore on the ground can be worth more than a Lamborghini now. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to smash that subscribe button like you're checking under couch cushions for treasure. I drop tips every week on how to find rare coins, what to look for, and how to turn pocket change into serious profit. Like, share, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or even just think you might have one. I want to hear your story. Let's build a community of collectors who know their cents from their cents. The next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. It might just be your $1 million moment.